Hello and welcome to the show. In the previous episodes, we looked at educational ideas for beauty and skincare entrepreneurs. And I started off the narrative arc by saying we're going to look at how to produce educational content on Instagram, podcast, and YouTube. And it was going to be content targeted at mothers in Abuja and Lagos that have children between the ages of newborn up until about 12. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm basing it off of a real life business or a real life business woman's business. Someone that I met during the what was it called again? Brunch and Bond. Yes, Brunch and Bond. That's a ladies' business and career networking group in Abuja. So at that session, there were a couple of ladies there that were from the beauty and skincare space. There were also other individuals there, other ladies there in tech. Let's see what else. Business systems. Um, a couple of other things that I can't remember now, but I remember contending with the beauty and skincare people on a number of topics, and so that's the reason why I just remembered. That's the reason why I'm using them basically as the case study for how to produce educational content. So if you've listened to the last episode and let's say two, three episodes prior, you already have the background context. And with that, let's just get straight into the sample content that I've come up with for a content calendar for people involved in these sorts of businesses. Now, if what I've said so far is not enough for you to get the context of what this particular episode is about, then after listening to this and getting the ideas, just skip back two or three episodes and you get caught up to speed. So, um, okay, since I've done all the background and theoretical stuff in the other episodes, let's just get straight into an actual content calendar. Now, this is going to be broken down into weeks and days. The whole point of taking this approach is to show that you don't have to wake up every day with angst over what you have to post on Instagram. So you don't have to wake up on Monday thinking, what do I post? Tuesday thinking, what do I post? Wednesday thinking, what do I post? You can do a little bit of work beforehand using the principles, strategies, and tactics that we have outlined in the previous two or three episodes. And you can come up with a calendar so that you wake up on week one on Monday and you know what you're supposed to do. On Tuesday, you know what you're supposed to do. And Wednesday, you have an action plan. Now, when you do things this way, the benefit is this: you're not tasking your creative juices every day. It's less tiring, and you're able to produce content predictably and sustainably over the long haul. And that's the reason why I've been doing this podcast now since before COVID, and we have over 740 episodes so far. That's because I don't wake up every day thinking, what am I going to record today? What am I going to record tomorrow? It has already been decided because I have a content calendar, or I have a content matrix, or a content schedule, or a content script, or a content outline, or a content, whatever it is that you want to call it. People call it by different names. But most important thing is I already have one available either on paper, or on my phone, or in a diary. I have clear outlines so that when I wake up tomorrow after publishing this episode, the next thing that we have to record is already there, so I don't have to think about it. So, with the intro out of the way, let's get straight into the nitty gritty of the plan that I came up with. So, for week one on a Monday, remember, if you want to get the rationale for how I arrived at this, listen to the previous two or three episodes. Okay, more like three or four episodes, and you get the rationale behind why I structure things this way. But even if you haven't listened to it and you're in the beauty and skincare space, you should be able to get some valuable ideas from what we are fooling around with today. So week one on a Monday, you can have a live Q&A session. Remember, we're talking about Instagram, so this is going to be an Instagram live. So a live Q&A session with a pediatrician on common child skincare concerns like eczema and baby acne and things like that. Maybe even nappy rash. Those of you who are professionals in the skincare space, I'm sure you're going to be able to come up with more topics that you can discuss with a pediatrician. Now, if you remember in the previous episode, this I said that this presupposes that you are doing the networking that is necessary to run into pediatricians and what do you call them? The doctors of the skin. I've forgotten. Pediatricians are for kids. Hmm. You get my point. Pediatricians, doctors of the skin. So meeting them at networking sessions or researching people on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, things like that. So you ought to have been doing some networking ahead of time, because if what we have for week one on a Monday is a an Instagram live session with a pediatrician, we can't start looking for the pediatrician today. So, um, this presupposes that we have done our work last week or 2 weeks prior to be able to find a pediatrician who is willing to come on, who is brave enough or open enough to the idea of coming on an Instagram live. Then on Tuesday, we can do a product demonstration. We can have a gentle cleansing routine for mothers and children using your brand's products. Now, of course, I mentioned that there are some ethical issues involved with having children on video for promotional products on Instagram. So maybe for this idea, you just limit it to mothers. The actual execution, I'll leave it up to you. But I think it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to set up your camera or set up your phone and your beauty light, and then have the mom in your space where you are applying the skincare thing, the face peel, the massage cream, the SP45, the whatever it is that you happen to be demonstrating. So just let the camera roll, record everything. After that, you can put it in CapCut or all those mobile phone editors, and then you chop things down into a much more sizable segment. Or you just hang on to a friend or a former classmate, or have some video production people on speed dial so they can have them chop it up for you, and then that's content ready for Tuesday product demonstration. Then on a Wednesday, you can put up before and after photos, and the whole point is to showcase mother's journey in achieving clear skin, radiant skin with your products. So, with her permission, of course, you have the day one and then you have the day 40 or whatever. Then on Thursday, you can use an interactive poll. Remember, I spoke about the possibilities of using different Instagram features, not just the, sorry, one moment, not just the, what's it called? Not just the video, but then we can also use Instagram stories. So on the stories, you have the possibility of using interactive polls. So that's where you can type in the questions and you give them options. This can select option A, select option B. Anyway, if you're not familiar with what it is I'm talking about, next time you're on Instagram, if you're a regular Instagram user, um, tap the plus function at the bottom of the screen, and you're going to see the option for the kind of content you can pull up. Then you swipe to the swipe left. Is that swipe left? Yes. So you swipe left, and then you see the options. There'll be post. The first one should be post. The next one should be. Okay, I can't remember. Anyway, just swipe. You see stories. Click on that, and you'll be able to see the poll function. Then on the Friday, you can do a collaboration with the local mommy blogger, and you can have her share her skincare routine for her and her kids. Now, the whole point of collaborations like this is this. If this mommy blogger has, let's say she has an audience of 5,000, you have an audience of 2,000. If you guys are hopping on a live together, those notifications are going out to her audience and to your own audience. So that's potentially 7,000 notifications going out. If you're just going to do this by yourself, then you're only going to get 2,000 notifications going out. But you collaborate with someone else who has a similar or a larger audience, and the pool of audiences that are going to receive the notifications is larger. So that's the whole idea about the collaboration. Then on the weekend, you can run a natural skincare challenge. You can encourage participants to share their natural skincare tips for mothers and their children, and Depending on how you do it, you can also get some user generated content. You can make it a fun challenge and have people record videos and then stuff like that. And all those videos that they are putting up, or even if it's just text, those are things that you can repurpose for future posts. And that is what is called user generated content in the social media space. And the whole point of this kind of content is this, that you don't have to come up with your content ideas all the time. You can put out these things and get people to create the content for you, and then you repurpose it. You use it on your website, your social media, your whatever. So that is a brief sketch of week one. Now, if you're trying to take notes, don't worry. I'm going to put the details of this up in the show notes to the podcast, so you can just okay, if you're listening on your phone, when you're done, all you have to do is click on, for most podcast apps, I think it's going to be called details. So, details or info. So, click on info, click on details. If you long press, you'll be able to you'll be able to select all. And then from there, you can hit copy, and then you can put it in your Word document on your phone, and then print it out later, and then use this as an outline if you're in the beauty and skincare space. So, that's week one. Then, week two, you can have an educational story um, uh, talking about common myths about skincare. Okay, talking about things like using harsh soaps or using adult products, because there are lots of stories that can be told on these sorts of things. So, this can be you doing another Instagram live, or it can be you talking into the camera and you create a video to upload on Instagram. So, this can be done on a variety of different ways. So those are just two options that you can do for Instagram. So, like I said, lots of stories that can be told about this. Like if I was in the beauty and skincare space, of course, I'd have that story about me being in boarding school where I had what's this thing called? I can't remember what it's called, but the kids, we used to be real harsh back then. We used to call it I can't remember what it's called anyway, where you have these sores all over your body, and sometimes it's blood, sometimes it's pus, and things like that. And then my father got this traditional soap for me, black soap, or as people call it, chaumtse. So black soap, used it on my legs, but what he got for me was the adult formulation and was really harsh. So my sores were cured, but then my skin started to peel, and then later on he got the right what's it called, the right combination for kids, and then I was fine. So these things happen if you are in the beauty and skincare space. I'm sure there are tons of stories like this about stuff that your clients tried, things that went wrong, stuff that they tried for their kids, things that went wrong. So week two, Monday, that can be you on an Instagram live, or a pre-recorded video talking about these sorts of things. Then on Tuesday, you can have a product tutorial, um, a do-it-yourself, where you're talking about natural sun protection for children. So that's where you can talk about the benefits of SP45 or whatever the sunblock thing is supposed to be, or maybe traditional remedies for doing that. Maybe traditionally people use shea butter for that. I'm just guessing anyway, but you get the whole idea. You can have a product tutorial. So you want to protect your kids from the harsh radiation of the sun. This is what you use. This is what you use. If you don't want to go into the shop and buy this expensive thing, this is what you use. Use shea butter, or use palm oil, or use this, or use that. Then, oh, by the way, I'm just making things up. So please, for those of you who are listening to this show, do not assume that you're supposed to take palm oil and rub on your skin and things like that. I am just using remember, I'm a layman here when it comes to beauty and skincare. So I know that some soaps and some products are based off of shea butter, some are based off of palm oil, some are based off of ash, some are based off of cleansing salts and things like that. So this is me just freestyling here. So don't take anything I say here as medical advice. Please don't go damage your skin. Then on Wednesday, you can do another before and after photo of a mom um, talking about like how children overcome skin irritation, things like that. For this group where we came up with these ideas, the brunch and bond ladies career and business networking session. Because of the ethical issues involved in using children in videos and photos, one of the suggestions was that you can take a picture of the child from the neck down, or a picture of the child of the affected part, maybe just the hand, maybe just the leg, maybe just the back, wherever it was that was affected, and then you use that in the video. So that solves all the ethical problems and also the legal challenges of having minors in promotional content, especially if there's a way that you can trace, who their parents are and then things like that. So that can be for Wednesday. Then for Thursday, you can also do an interactive quiz. And remember, interactive quizzes, polls, things like that, you can create these things on what's it called again? Instagram stories. Yes, Instagram stories. That's where you can do all the cool engagement and interactive stuff. There you can test mother's knowledge on child skincare essentials. So question one can be something like, what is the best way to protect your skin, your child's skin in Hamatan? A, this option. B, this option. C, this option. D, this option. And then tons of people click A, tons of people click D, stuff like that. It'll give you a fair sense of what your audience actually thinks is the best way to protect their children, especially now that we're in December. Hamatan is harsh. Hamatan into early next year, things like that. And it's also going to give you ideas for content, because it's possible that people might select an option, and in your own professional opinion, you're able to see that the most popular option that people selected actually is the worst thing to do for children. So you will now have a future idea where you can come up and say that, yeah, in last week's quiz, you people selected this, but actually it's the wrong thing to do. You'll be harming your children's skin, and this is why. So you see now, putting up all this interactive stuff is giving you idea for future content, and you're going to be able to show your credibility and expertise. Then on Friday, you can do a collaboration post. This could be a text post where you can partner with a Lagos-based family-oriented influencer or something to share fun and educational activities for a healthy skin. So this one can be text-based. You write a couple of stuff, the other person writes some things. I think there's a word limit of about, is it 1,000 characters or something like that. But you can usually easily use what's it called, ChatGPT or Google Bard to, that's after you guys put the post together, to autocorrect, format it, reduce the word count, things like that. So you don't have to do it manually. That's formatted manually for the post. Then on the weekend, sorry, excuse me. On the weekend, you can announce winners of what you did last week, the Natural Skincare Challenge, and then share the best tips submitted, and then maybe highlight the winner, and then things of that nature. Now, we're 17 minutes in, and we've only gone halfway through the content calendar that I put up. So let me just run through a brief summary. If you want details, like I said, it's going to be in the show notes. So just check the podcast app that you're currently using right now. So when you're done, some apps it says info, for some apps it says details, and I think for some apps it says more. So whatever it is on the app you're using, if it's info, if it's details, if it's more, just swipe, click, and then the details will be there. And if you're in the beauty or skincare space, you should be able to use this as ideas to promote your business on Instagram. Then, so week 3, I proposed another live Q&A session. This time with dermatologists, skin doctors. That's what they're called, dermatologists. So remember, I said if you're in this line of business, you should have some pediatricians. Um, uh, Pediatricians, their number stored on your phone, dermatologists in your network. You have to be able to talk to people like this time and time again, because the average beauty specialist in Nigeria, anyway, is just someone who has put together some native or herbal remedies, and then they're selling that stuff. So, one way for you to set yourself apart is to show that you work with reputable specialists. So, you're not just someone who went back to the village and got some secret recipe of shea butter and pepper and tiger nuts and just mix the whole thing together, or carrots or whatever. So, a dermatologist can come up and talk about maintaining healthy skin during pregnancy and postpartum, because remember, in this case, we're selling to mothers who have newborns all the way up to 12. So we can talk about skincare because I can tell you from experience, not that I've been pregnant before, but my wife has been pregnant a couple of times, and I can tell you that sometimes there's no problem. Your skincare routine remains the same. But then there are other times that your skincare routine is one way during pregnancy, and then after you give birth, your skincare routine becomes something else, as in things change. That's just the nature of being female, unfortunately. Stuff that we men don't have to bother with. Then on Tuesday, you can do a product spotlight, highlight this brand, highlight that brand. On Wednesday, again, before and after photos, showcase somebody's stories. On Thursday, you can do another interactive poll, this time asking mothers to talk about the best way that they learn about skincare. So, will be Instagram stories again. By the way, I hope you guys are seeing the different ways that you can use Instagram. When I used to be on Instagram, I only used to do texts. I was one of those lazy folks that only do text. But you should be doing a whole lot more because Instagram is a what's that word? It's a multi, it's a multi something app. You know, you can use video, you can use text. Okay, there's no audio for now, but I've heard just that audio is going to be a feature on the platform. So we'll wait and see how that happens. So you can use interactive polls. Mothers, how do you learn about skincare? Option A, videos. Option B, blogs. Option C, posts. And then you see what it is that they say. Friday, another collaboration with a pediatrician. And then you can share tips on managing common skin conditions for children. So, stuff like that. So, I'm sure you get the whole idea. We have gone through 3 weeks now, week one, week two, week three, and we have come up with ideas that you can do on each day to come up with content for Instagram. So you can see that it's possible for you to wake up and not worry about content ideas because you have planned for the next 4 weeks, for the next 1 month, and you have ideas for one post every single day. Now, for those of you who don't want to have a daily cadence or a daily publishing schedule, that's not a problem. If you come up with this kind of content calendar, or if you decide to use this content calendar and you decide to only post once a week, then okay, no, I think once a week would be too small. Let's say twice a week. So if you decide that you're going to post twice a week, and this is what we've come up for 4 weeks, okay, hmm. Okay, I'm not good at the math, so let me not speculate. But bottom line is, if we have enough every day for 4 weeks, but you decide that you're only going to be posting twice a week, then this should last you to, is that 4 times as much or 6 times as much? Anyway, for those of you who are good at math, you can do the math. So this should be able to last you 6 times as much. Okay, so that's it. And because it's too much to go into, because we have one more week left, I'll just put it all in the show notes. So that's it pretty much. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Remember to connect with me on WhatsApp. The number is 080-6466-2140. The postcode is +234 for those of you who are hitting me up outside the shores of Nigeria. Also, remember to connect with me on LinkedIn. That's the social media where I spend most of my time these days. And don't worry about the spelling of my name. You can confirm it from where you're listening to this audio. If you're listening to a podcast, just check the profile section. You see the spelling of my name there and my email address. And it's the same if you're listening to a website. You'll be able to, listening to this on a website over the web, you'll be able to see the correct spelling of my name and email address, and you can connect with me later. So thanks for your time and attention. And I'll catch you guys at the next episode.